Hopefully we can do a good job keeping it up front all day and have a shot at the end. Unbelievable. Good job, guys. Great execution all day. All day.
And welcome back to another episode of Historic Hot Laps. Month of May going on strong here. Let's cover some Indy road course, a few other events we had going on, and a little history at the end. So kicking it off, Indianapolis road course, IMS street course circuit, however you want to look at it. Indy NXT doubleheader. You had a race Friday and a race on Saturday. Race 1 on Friday, Hughes dominated the race, starting up front, taking the checkered flag first. Not bad for the Australian rookie and the team over there at Andretti. And then, no surprise, race 2, doubleheader went to Dennis Hogger. He's been pretty dominant all season long, so there's really no surprise there. Moving from there, jump right into the Indy cars, the big boys there at the IMS road course. First off, we got to talk about qualifying and the interesting thing that was happening there. We saw all 3 RLL entries make it into the Fast 6. Yes, RLL, the same team that missed the Indy 500 in recent years due to lack of speed, made the Fast 6 at the IMS road course. So good start to the month of May for them for sure. Final warm-up, we saw Ferrucci and AJ Foyt Racing suffer an engine failure in their Chevrolet. That really changed up the race strategy for them and all the other things that could be from that. Clean first lap, action-packed. Tire strategy on everything was kind of strange at this. You had 2 sets of soft tires that you had to run, which was, they didn't have to be new, sticker reds, but you did have to run 2 sets of tires, so we saw a lot of different strategies there with teams and the stuff that they had going on rather than the single set. Basically, IndyCar's trying to make this a more exciting race for everybody, right? And not just this race, but other races. A lot of the stuff they've got going on, they're trying to change the strategies up, not make it such a fuel mileage thing. Just, trying to change things up. Whether it's good or wrong, I know a lot of the drivers weren't a fan of it, but whatever the case may be, they're still making it happen and trying their hardest to make something work with the strategy game on these races. But going into it, you had that clean first lap. Graham Rahal took a crazy good pass in the first turn, got out front right away, had a great 2/3 of a race with the tire strategy that took him to the lead. Also put him in a bind at the end where all he had left were hards and guys were coming up on softs. During this race, we saw 400 consecutive race laps without a caution in 2025. We were still sitting at nothing since St. Pete, which is awesome for the respect level these drivers are showing each other and how they're taking care of their equipment. With 16 laps left to go, we did see caution as David Malukas went off from the grass and was able to get moving again. Just high-centered, basically. Nothing too crazy, but that brought out a yellow and ended the consecutive green flag racing that we had seen. So we all know how this is going to end. Graham Rahal ran real strong for 2/3 of the race. Palou ends up taking the lead through the pit cycles. Seals the deal for another win with Chip Ganassi Racing and Palou combination. Here are some comments from Graham after the great performance and what he sees with these unbeatable CGR cars.
Those Ganassi cars are just in a league of their own. Like the grip that they have, the ability to follow so close compared to everybody else, just, I don't know. It's not just Alex. I mean, when Scott was behind me, it's the same. They're just, I just told these guys, like, I genuinely am proud. Like, I don't think I locked up once. I don't think I put one wheel wrong. I defended as best I could, but they're just in a league of their own. There's a different stratosphere of grip, and so, we tried our best. Obviously, Fifth Third Bank, the Honda was quick today. That's the end of the engine life for us, so great job to them. That thing made it a long time for us this year. I tried to just drive as flawlessly as I could because I knew that was the only way to beat him, but unfortunately, we're just not in their league right now.
All right, so moving on from there, we had NASCAR in Kansas. We had the Truck Series and the Cup Series there. Truck Series, Stage 1, Corey Heim pretty well dominated. Even though there was cautions, restarts, gets a stage win. Corey Heim just unstoppable. He's got a stage win in every single race this season so far, so awesome to see that. You had Carson Hocevar in this race, which we know how aggressive he drives. So Stage 2, Carson Hocevar gets that win. He was running pretty strong all day. He was up front in the top 5 for most of it during Stage 1. Ends up getting up front for Stage 2, takes the win there. The final few laps were pretty wild. You had Lane Riggs battling it out in the front to challenge Hocevar. They pushed the limits. Both of them got loose a couple times. Riggs gets into Hocevar a little bit. They both save it. battle to the finish, but Hocevar ends up taking the win there in Kansas in the Truck Series. So let's talk about the Cup Series race. We know the favorite to win this one going into it was Kyle Larson. Stage 1, Kyle Larson dominates, starting from pole, gets a stage win. Stage 2, pit cycles out a little bit, works his way back to the front, gets another stage win there. And of course, the win goes to Young Money, Mr. Kyle Larson. He swept all the point categories, all stages, had the fastest lap. If he could get points in it, he got them. So overall, he got it all done, got it pretty well shaken off. And while he was leading that race, he passed his 10,000 laps led in his NASCAR career. So again, another awesome one for him and that Hendrick Motorsports team. Whether you're a fan or not, which I don't know how you could not be a fan, you have to agree the guy can drive. He can get it done. He always seems to make it happen. And he's got a busy month coming up between all the other races. You got the All-Star race. He's got qualifying in Indy this week, Indy 500 later in the month, plus probably a half a dozen sprint races in between then and now. Just crazy stuff. So he's keeping it busy for sure. Moving over to high limit sprints, you had him at Tri-City Speedway this time. Corey Day had been running strong in these NASCAR feeder races lately. He's kind of a protege of Kyle Larson. Yeah, he ran super strong again. Battled with Brad Sweet at the end, but he ends up taking the win home at Tri-City Speedway. So congrats to Corey Day on that one.
Well, I think that was my wheelhouse, if my definition is correct of it. Yeah, that was awesome. I was really, really glad to see it take rubber there at the end of the race. I was terrible off turn 4, and that just kind of gave me the security I needed to, Brad's usually really good in the slick, and we're not. So it gave me the security that I needed to be comfortable.
We had World of Outlaws at Lincoln Speedway. This was a midweek race. Big old pile up of 3 cars getting tangled up. Buddy Kofoid pretty well held the lead after all that caution and the restart, and ends up getting the win for him and that team. So congrats to them on that.
It was, yeah. Not as much 3 and 4, just because the cushion was easier to run and there was more distance from you to the fence. And 1 and 2 always, seems to get really slick, and where you kind of feel like even though you get set in, you kind of have a tendency to slide to the cushion if you're down there. And I felt really good on the top. There's times where even though if I didn't feel great, I still feel like I could make good speed and wasn't losing as far as to the lappers on the bottom, or would gain even if I didn't feel like I cut a great corner. So I just, when I get that slick into one, I feel like it's good to cut across here. And, and then at the end, I kind of got back higher, and then that felt just as good again. So kind of out of breath. Didn't feel like a long race, but it took a while to get going. And then, I was glad that we were just able to start clicking laps off. But
We then had the Outlaws take a trip over to Williams Grove Speedway. Anthony Macri ends up securing that $20,000 victory in that one, getting a World of Outlaws win. He's part of the PA Posse rivalry event that they have there. You also had Colton Freese get a couple features on the ends, and the 305 sprint car feature went to Cruz Kempner. So a lot of different things happening there at Williams Grove.
I don't know. It feels pretty badass and surreal, really, right now. And man, before that red came out, I didn't know if we were going to be standing up here or not, and just kind of had to, pick my pace up. I just kind of figured I had to pick the pace up there, and it's kind of what I did. I just got the wing back and kept working with the car, and here we are.
We also had some USAC action this week. You had national sprints at Bloomington for the Larry Rice Classic. And honestly, national sprints and Kyle Cummins hand in hand anymore. Kyle Cummins worked his way to the front, couldn't be stopped, ends up winning the Larry Rice Classic there in Bloomington.
Just trying to stay calm. There at the beginning, he got me, and I was being a little easy with the car. And we got a really, really good, smooth slick track car. And, man, that baby's hooked up. And all night we were loosening it up. And there about, the first 5-6 laps, it was like super tight, and but I was running out of tear-offs, and so I was kind of getting a little impatient, and so it was time to get out there so I could have some so I could at least see where the ruts were at. I think that was key, getting to where you could actually see a little bit and kind of at least hit your mark or try to hit your mark. But no, it was that was a treacherous one. That was a lot of turning left, bouncing, and but that's what what these sprint cars are doing. Sometimes it's smooth and fast and slick, and sometimes it's cowboy up. So it's kind of cool to get a cowboy up one. The other ones we've won's been pretty slick. So to kind of gas it up, get some wheelies, biking up a little bit. I'm glad we got this one tonight.
They then jump over to Tri-State Speedway, where Kyle Cummins again had another dominating performance and wins another race. So just all over the place with the wins for Kyle Cummins. Shown great performance there in national sprints under the USAC banner. So congrats to him on that.
It definitely feels great, especially with it's a different racetrack, it seems like. So to still be good, have a great car, and, track positions, everything, just, the way the heat race worked out, just luckily, got in front there. And then, the way the feature kind of worked out there, it was a little treacherous, getting in there, and I kind of just went to the bottom and just kind of rolled around the bottom and, kind of set my car up for that. On that last yellow, I was like, I'm just going to roll the bottom here and just see what I can do. But, Hank's on a Mach 1 too. There's 2 Mach 1s, first and second right here. And I think we both won our heat race. So the Mach 1s around Tri-State Speedway, it don't matter who's driving them, they're fast. So, I knew he was behind me there, and, Mitchell's been really good too. And so just, pretty excited to win both of them, last night, tonight. And, this will be a good Mother's Day gift for my mom, all my wife, and all the mothers in my family,
Not a whole lot of news to talk about this week, but we do have one bigger F1 story to talk about. Franco Colapinto is already replacing Jack Doohan at Alpine. More and more rookies just get zero adjustment time from that Shark Tank of a series. The Formula One paddock is so rough for these rookies. If you don't have it when 2 or 3 races, you're out the door. And I get it. There's a lot of pressure on the line. They're looking for the best of the best and everything else. It's just pretty insane to see that and pretty wild. So, but yeah, we'll see a new Alpine driver here coming up in this next race, and we'll see what they can do with that. Hopefully it'll change some luck around and get some better results if that's what they're after. I knew Doohan had some rough times, but I mean, he did trash a couple cars, so I get it. But like I said, the amount of pressure that you're under in that series is just insane, and all these young kids and what they're dealing with and everything else. So, yeah, pretty crazy overall. But yeah, we'll see if the adjustment does what they think it'll do for them. That takes us to the history portion of this podcast today. We're kind of IndyCar focused this month. Obviously, we got the Indy 500 coming up. We're going to be heading to the track here very shortly. We got cars on track right now. Again, we'll be out there, so if you see us and see any historic hot laps gear or whatever, let us know. You're a fan and you listen, and we'll see what we can hand out. We've got a few giveaways and things like that we're thinking about doing. But first off, let's hit up this history on Panther Racing. Panther was a prominent team in the IndyCar series in the heyday, if you will, known for their competitive spirit and remarkable achievements. Founded in 1997, the team was established by a group of individuals with diverse backgrounds. You had John Barnes, Gary Pedigo, Jim Harbaugh, Terry Lingler, Doug Bowles. We know Doug Bowles, now the president of IndyCar Series and IMS, and Mike Griffin. They wanted to create a formidable presence in open-wheel racing, all of them coming from different backgrounds of racing, and really wanted to make some stuff happen. So let's talk about the early years real quick. Panther Racing made its debut in 1998, fielding the G-Force number 4 Pennzoil driven by Scott Goodyear. Probably one of my favorite cars of all time, mainly because that was, like I said, for me, that was a great era. I was a youngster coming up, watching all this stuff. I was a fan of Scotty Good, and yeah, I think I still have a shirt with that car on it. The team quickly gained traction, securing multiple top 6 finishes in the inaugural season. However, it was early 2000s that Panther really made its mark on stuff, with Sam Hornish Jr. behind the wheel. The team clinched back-to-back Indy Racing League championships in 2001 and 2002. These victories solidified Panther Racing as a dominant force in the series. Once you saw Sam Hornish jump in there, I mean, nothing wrong with how Scott Goodyear is running things. We've talked about a lot of top 6 finishes, but Sam Hornish was the young talent, the kind of the rebel, kind of the offshoot of Paul Tracy, if you will. They kind of had that rock and roll vibe to them. Awesome drivers, both of them. But they had some good stuff going. So let's talk about their times at the Indy 500. One of Panther Racing's most notable achievements was its consistent performance at the Indianapolis 500. Again, Doug Bowles being the track president now, and everything else kind of goes hand in hand with him running that team. From 2008 to 2011, they had great success there. They finished second in 4 consecutive Indy 500 races. An impressive feat for sure that showcased their ability to compete at that highest level of motorsports, right? However, despite the success, Panther Racing faced financial and sponsorship challenges in the 2010s. The team lost the National Guard sponsorship, which it had for quite a while, and that had been crucial to the funding of it, right? The government funding for all that. By 2014, Panther Racing had significantly reduced its operations and eventually ceased competing in the IndyCar series altogether. Over its 16 seasons, Panther Racing fielded 22 drivers. They won 15 races, captured 2 championships, leaving behind a pretty good legacy. Everybody knows the name when you say Panther Racing. I really wish I could find some more old Panther Racing swag. That'd be cool. They had several memorable moments at the Indy 500 during their peak years, the 2000s and the 2010s. Some of the most significant, though, like we talked about, 4 consecutive runner-up finishes, 2008 to 2011, which has got to be awesome, winning 4 straight second-place finishes, but never getting that win. That would be a little frustrating, but we see that with Pato O'Ward right now, right? He's come in second twice now, so close to getting it done. But so in 2008, you had Vitor Mira get second place. Dan Weldon got it in 2009 and 2010, and then J.R. Hildebrand in 2011. One of the most memorable things, I guess, about that 2011 Indy 500 was J.R. Hildebrand was so close to driving that number 4 National Guard car with Panther Racing to the win. He was leading the race in the final lap. He approached the last turn. He attempted to pass Charlie Kimball, who he was lapping, and he drifted too high in the corner, crashed in the outside wall, came sliding down the straightaway, and ended up in second place. And the result from that was a surprise victory for Dan Weldon. As Hildebrand's car coasted towards the finish line, Weldon managed to slip past him in the final 1,000 feet, securing an unexpected victory, which, if you've watched that, you understand that was with Brian Herta, and the amount of just financial disparity that team was in and what their goal was there, and to get the win is just insane. And then obviously we lost Dan Weldon a short time later in Las Vegas in that terrible accident. But Hildebrand crossed the line in second place still, making it an incredible, heartbreaking experience to get the 4th second place finish in a row when you were leading. Just a painful thing. I can't even imagine. Hildebrand was still awarded Rookie of the Year for all of the success that he had regardless, and finishing second at the 500. This is still the 2011 Indy 500. It's one of the most talked about races in history, especially with the sport and the series. But yeah, Panther Racing, they went through a lot. They had a lot of near victories, a lot of heartbreaks, a lot of incredible performances, despite never winning the biggest race in motorsports. They left a lasting legacy at the Brickyard, and Doug Bowles being president now of the series, and also the lasting president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, doing great things out there. Doug Bowles is definitely our president when it comes to that, and he understands what that place means, especially being so close, as an owner and a chief, and not ever making it happen, coming close so many years in a row, just insane. But moral of the story is they had a great organization for the time that they had. Some limited success, but they did what they could, and they had a pretty good run, honestly, overall. So can't be upset by that. Pretty solid run overall for them. That being said, that wraps up this quick episode this week. Another shorter one. We're getting ready to go to Indy. We're going to be at Indy here in a couple days, and we're going to get it done. Fast Friday, all qualifications. Pretty excited to see what everybody's got for the Speedway. Hopefully the weather holds out, and hopefully we can see some good stuff. We got cars on track right now, like I said, so that's a good sign. We'll see what everybody's got going on and go from there. But if you're a fan of the show and you're going to be at Indy, even reach out. We're a pretty small operation right now. Not a lot of people listening to this all the way through, listening to what we've got to say in the history. So the few fans we have, we really, really respect, and thank you very much for listening. And yeah, we'll see you out there at Indy, or if not, we'll see you online, and we'll probably do a giveaway related to the 500. We'll figure out something. But yeah, we'll get her done one way or another. But aside from that, everybody stay safe, stay cool. If you're in Indy this week, stay dry, and let's hope the track stays dry. And yeah, till next time, stay safe, and thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for sharing your time with us. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. Don't forget to follow us at Historic Hot Laps on X and all your other social platforms for the latest updates and sneak peeks into upcoming episodes. You can reach out to us directly at historichotlaps@gmail.com. Send us your feedback, questions, comments, opinions, and additional subject matter you'd like us to cover. Thanks for tuning in.